Hello again and welcome to Dave's Movie Diary. Today I'm talking about the film Parasite from 2019. It's a film you might have heard of. Why would you have heard of it? Well, it only won the Best Picture and the Best Director at the 2020 Oscars. Directed by Bong Joon-ho, who has since gone on to make quite a few other films that are critically acclaimed as well, and is one of the hottest directors making films at the moment. So I had seen this film before, and I saw it I think I saw it in 2020 on a streaming platform after all the enormous buzz that was around the film. Who knows? I might have seen it after it became nominated and/or won Best Picture. So there's a reasonable memory for me of certain parts of this film. I can remember enjoying parts of it, especially the setup and the idea, the premise of the film. But my recollections are also clouded, I guess, by feeling like somewhere along the way it stopped connecting with me, which put me at odds with nearly everyone else that I've talked to about the film, who had a real moment with this film and have rewatched it plenty of times and still get a lot of enjoyment out of the film. I've heard it on other podcasts as well. So partly for that reason, I wanted to revisit it and see, did I miss something? Was I in a zone where I wasn't paying attention? What happened? The other reason is that I've heard great things about his other films, and I feel like checking out some of those films and seeing what they're like. But I don't know. I felt like I really needed to tick this box properly and assure myself what I think about his best known work and his most acclaimed film, and the one that really launched him into worldwide prominence. So that's what I did. What's Parasite about? It's about a family. Well, it's about two families actually, but it's predominantly about the Kim family. The Kim family are a struggling, a real battling family, lower class family in Seoul. They actually live in a pretty grim basement apartment, and they're very frugal. They do whatever it takes to get by. They do odd jobs. There's two parents and two kids who seem to be kind of, the son appears to be, I don't know, about 20, 21. The daughter appears to be 18 or 19. That's just my guess, but you should know that I'm always bad at estimating ages too, so take that with a grain of salt. Some of the things they do to save money is folding pizza boxes for a local pizza restaurant that delivers. And of course, the film starts with them trying to work out how they can steal free Wi-Fi from neighboring apartments. It seems like they've been getting by on a particular network, and then that person has the temerity to have a password, and so they explore some ways of maintaining their free Wi-Fi ability. Anyway, things begin to take a change for the better when the son, played by Choi Woo-shik, gets the opportunity to pose as a university student and tutor the teenage daughter of a wealthy family who live in a really stunning, an architecturally stunning modern home. He gets the opportunity because his best friend is going overseas for a while, and before he goes, he says, "Look, you're my mate. This could be an opportunity for you." But the bigger reason is, and he's open about this, is that he's fallen for the daughter that he's tutoring. She's not of age yet, and he's going overseas for a while. When he comes back, she will be, and he's going to ask her to go out with him. And he believes that he can trust the character played by Choi Woo-shik, and he can sort of keep an eye on her and get some money. So he's a safe pair of hands. So anyway, Choi Woo-shik, he heads along to this incredible home, has an interview, gets a start, and soon is quite a well trusted, nearly a member of the family. And what happens then? This is one of the many interesting things about this film. Um, he opens the door then to getting his sister a job there, and she comes in to help the younger boy, the brother of the girl that he's tutoring. He's got some behavioural issues, and she is quite artistic, and so she comes in posing as an art therapist. I'd never heard of art therapy, but apparently, oh, I don't know if it's a thing, but anyway, it's a thing in this film. And again, it doesn't take much. Once you've got the first person in who's trusted, he vouches for her. She seems to be really valuable, and already within half an hour seems to be turning around the young boy. And so then she pulls a pretty dirty trick, and that leads to the chauffeur being punted. And of course, then she suggests that actually she might know a chauffeur. Lo and behold, her father comes along, acts as the chauffeur. He does well. These people are all great at reading the room, by the way. They just know how to fit in and play these roles that are really nothing like their persona at home. They're like Korean bogans, if that makes sense. When they're at home, they're slugging, they're sculling beers, they're they're just Korean bogans. I can't say any better than that. Anyway, and of course, the last piece of the puzzle, they then managed to get the housekeeper, the long-time housekeeper, who was there before they were there, by the way. She was the housekeeper when the architect who designed the house lived there. They plant doubts about her, get her fired. Who could replace her, I wonder? In comes Mum. So now we've got all four members of the family working in the same house. The family that live there have got no idea that all these people are related. They're just happy that their lives seems to be taking a turn for the better with the help. And so it goes from there. I won't reveal what happens for people who haven't seen it. But what starts out as a clever and really funny family scam film slowly kind of spirals into something much darker and far more violent than you might expect. So some impressions from my rewatch last night. I loved immediately just how committed this family is to surviving by any means necessary, like the free Wi-Fi, the folding of the pizza boxes. Another great one was letting free bug fumigation drift through the apartment from outside, because they've got heaps of cockroaches in their palatial basement abode. And hey, why not get some free pest control? It's good thinking. Another funny thing was, I love how the parents were so proud of their kids or young adults whenever they pulled off another dirty trick. Case in point, the father seems genuinely proud, like proudest day of his life, when he's watching his two kids collaborate to forge fake university documents for the son, because he's the first one that breaks through, remember? And so the daughter uses her artistic abilities and just street cunning to come up with these fake university documents from Oxford University, of all places. They look so good. Like, she puts the certified stamp on there and makes sure that the paper quality is just the right kind. And the dad jokes about whether Oxford University can offer degrees in document forgery because his daughter would be top of the class. straight away you get the sense that this family just operates on a completely different moral wavelength than most people, and it's really funny. I thought it was, I really enjoyed this part of the film, and I've already touched on it, but I thought the family dynamic is really compelling in this film, in both families, but particularly the Kim family. And I thought the strongest part of the film by far is just watching that family work together, and the parents admiring the dodginess. There's no shame. They celebrate their scams together at the dinner table. They joke about how stupid these people are. And then they front up to work and they're all immaculately dressed, hair in place, minding their P's and Q's, being very professional, but not being impersonal either. That's the interesting thing when I said they read the room, especially the dad when he's chauffeuring the patriarch of the family around, who's a younger, really hip IT guy. The dad says some things that are just on the edge of being a bit too personal or pushing the friendship a little bit too far, but he knows how to just stay on the edge and offer a lot of value and forge a real friendship. So they're very canny operators, which is why they're successful in infiltrating this house. And then it switches back to them at home. Here's dad. He's there in his singlet, drinking beer straight from the can, going through a packet of cigarettes, laughing about pulling off these scams, living in the basement, and then back again. They're back and forth, transforming. The mask comes on and it comes off. Really entertaining to watch. The strategy behind the scams is fantastic. Really inventive, and that's what this film is to me. It's really inventive, and I think that's what resonated with a lot of people. The brilliance, the creativity, the originality. There's some very underhanded things done here. There's some underwear planted in a limousine, and that has the desired effect against the chauffeur. Some fantastic fake tuberculosis blood coughing. If you ever want to pull that one off, watch this film. They give you a masterclass in convincing people of that particular disorder. Peach fuzz. Now, I didn't know this, but peach fuzz, in this universe anyway, can lead to some severe allergies. And it takes a lot of planning and some dexterity to just get that right amount of peach fuzz and how to distribute it. Seems like just on the nape of the neck when you're passing by, just sprinkle a little bit of peach fuzz and watch the results. Digging through the former housekeeper's history like they're preparing a criminal dossier. They really do their homework. They don't leave much to chance, the Kims. Lots of strategic thinking, horizon scanning, deep diving. I'm using all the Australian public service terminology now. The daughter, Park Sodam, she really stood out to me. She to me was the most devious of the four. The youngest member of the family. She seemed to revel in her scams playing out and really enjoying it, not just doing it for the money, and just didn't seem to have any morals at all. Definitely the smartest operator. Very commanding screen presence. Choi Woo-shik as the son was excellent too. He seems to have more scruples than his sister. Not too many more, but perhaps a little bit more. I thought those two really carry the film early on, and then the father's character comes through a bit more as the film goes on. But for some reason, the two kids really stole the film for me. Now the house that they're operating in. I appreciated the house a lot more this second time round, and it really feels like another character in the film because it's so integral to the plot. The structure of the house, when you watch it, you'll understand. Um, the house is so inviting. I could see why people would want to do some underhanded things to get a job there. The architecture is fascinating. All the levels and the staircases. There's some hidden spaces and levels that you didn't know about. Um, Probably about 90% of the film takes place inside the house, so it's got to be top notch, and it really delivers. Becomes central to everything that happens. Really, one of the most memorable film houses I can remember seeing in recent times, in particular. I thought I thought about some themes that the film seemed to be exploring, that I noticed anyway, and obviously class struggle is one. Um, that's made clear from the get-go. You couldn't have much more comparison between the Kims and the family that they end up working for. It's chalk and cheese. Um, but it's never a depressing kind of comparison. It's joyful, it's funny, it's done in an entertaining way. Um, but I actually found myself thinking more about trust and the wealthy Park family. Um, Make it hard to really root against them. For me, anyway, they're very wealthy people, and usually wealthy people are portrayed as patronizing or arrogant or without morals. But really, it's the other way around in this film. If anything, the Parks are quite warm and quite likable, really, especially the parents. Whilst the Kims they're not the working class heroes or the lovable battlers here. They're out to take the Parks for everything and more. Um, so, like I touched on earlier, as soon as one of the Kim family, which was the son, gets a foothold inside that environment, the rest of them charge in behind him. And the film really showed me how fragile our judgment of people can be, and how sometimes we can base opinions of trust on some very tenuous first impressions, or being around someone for very limited times. And a canny operator, in that sense, can really pull the wool over your eyes. And hopefully it doesn't lead to the sort of hijinks that this film shows. But I think it just pointed out to me that once one person earns trust, things can snowball. And I think I could sum it up best by saying that this film shows how easily sometimes we can outsource our judgment of people to others, without ever really questioning what we're being told. So the son, he seems pretty good. And so he's telling me about this girl he knows who can be the art therapist. Okay, well, if he's saying it, then I'm going to trust that. And so then she's in. And I trust her because I trust him. And now she's telling me about her. You see where I'm going with this? It's based on not too much evidence. The film does change dramatically at one point, and it involves the former housekeeper. I told you before that the mother of the Kims, she's the last family member to gain employment there, at the expense of the original housekeeper. And things are going along well, but then there's a real shift when the former housekeeper returns, seemingly to pick up something that she left there. And because she got escorted out pretty quickly, it seems like a compelling reason to let her come in. And then all hell breaks loose. The power dynamic flips. Some really funny things happen. I loved how the filmmaker used operatic music when the family's scrambling for the phone. You'll know what scene I'm talking about if you've seen it. The daughter racing for the peaches to deliver the final blow. The absolutely ruthless elbow to the face that sends someone crashing down the stairs. From that point onward, the film to me became a lot darker, more chaotic, a lot more action happening. And I'm not I'm not sure whether that was a good thing or a bad thing. I was kind of with the film much more when it was just the dialogue and the dynamics between the characters. Um, the final act really ramps things up. The birthday party for the son. It's really inventive. That scene. It's chaotic, but it's genuinely disturbing. Uh, and you need to approach this film with some caution, especially for that segment of the film right near the end. And the interesting thing was when I was watching that part of the film, it hit me. I'm 99% certain that I never saw all of this film the first time. I had no memory of that final half an hour or so, and I couldn't, you know, like there's no way I could forget that from 5 years ago, 6 years ago. So clearly, my original viewing years ago was incomplete. I do have some sort of memory of maybe watching it after work on a Friday, and yeah, back then things were pretty chaotic with my work. I was putting in a long stints. I think I might have fallen asleep in parts and woken up and just realized that I'd missed the gist of it, and who knows, I might have just turned it off. I certainly have no recollection from that part. So I'm glad I rewatched it. Some quick thoughts on Bong Joon-ho. I definitely want to explore more of his work. The other films that I'm aware of that are on my radar, later ones anyway, are Memories of Murder. There's a recent film that's come out. The name of it escapes me, but it sounds interesting, about a guy who works in a paper factory and he gets laid off and he seeks his revenge. That sounds interesting. So yeah, I'm going to check out those two. I think there might be another one called The Handmaiden. Anyway, he's definitely piqued my interest. So I will check out some more of those films. So now that I watched the film properly all the way through, didn't fall asleep, didn't zone out, I can definitely say easily I appreciated it more this time, and I have a much more favorable attitude about this film. But, and this is going to annoy a lot of people. I still don't. Well, it won't, because I'm talking about my connection. It just didn't resonate with me the way it did with most people I know who watch a lot of films or just love this movie. And it's odd to me why it didn't, because if you listen to what I've said in this pod, I've said a lot of great things about the film, about its creativity, about some of the performances, and I really had to think about what's not connecting with me. I think what it is that over time, like I'm in my 50s now, but over time, I think I've gravitated more toward films that connect emotionally rather than films that feel intellectually constructed and that are really clever with the plot, or like this one is. And I thought about some films that really resonated with me, like Sideways, for example, or Before Sunrise, Uncut Gems. Even films from this year, like The Gentleman. I found that really funny and a great story and not too long. For example, the Guy Ritchie film, The Peanut Butter Falcon, a sort of a heartwarming story. It doesn't have to be heartwarming. I mean, if you've seen Uncut Gems, it's not heartwarming, but I get a real emotional kick out of that, and I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm really feeling something. I wasn't really. I can appreciate this film for what it's doing, and it was funny in parts, but it didn't really get to me emotionally. I couldn't maybe I couldn't relate to the characters or the situation. It was just too 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 different to what I'm used to, or um, no connection, no relatability. And I thought about other films that are like that, that have got a lot of supporters, particularly films like Everything Everywhere All at Once. Another one. I could understand and appreciate the creativity and the inventiveness, and some of the performances for sure. Tenet, the Christopher Nolan film, that's another one. It had people blown away by what it was talking about, the concepts and the effects, and that sort of thing. But I found it quite cold. I did find it hard to follow. I'll admit that too. The Menu is another one, the Ray Fiennes film that got a lot of admirers. I thought that was well, for me, it was really bad. Um, it's one of the films I've enjoyed least in the past few years. Um, so I think I've hit the nail on the head there. That if I don't get that emotional kick, even if it's feeling anxiety, feeling warmth, feeling something, I have to feel things. I can admire the craft in these other films to an extent, but if I'm not emotionally engaged, I'm not gonna rave about it as much as those other films. So um, I acknowledge that this film won Best Picture, and majority rules, and that's fine. I love the fact that a foreign film won. It's way overdue. There's a lot of others over the years that probably could have challenged for Best Picture, so I respect that. I admire the ambition of this film. I did enjoy large parts of it, especially the first 50 or 60% of it. Um, but yeah, if I was picking the best films of 2019 from a personal viewpoint, I would be looking at films like The Peanut Butter Falcon, The Gentleman, Uncut Gems, and a few others that connected with me a lot more strongly. So yeah, I'm glad I've ticked the box. Yep, I get it. I can see why lots of other folks like it. Um, but I'll be sitting outside the overwhelming praise that this film got. It's good. It's not great. So yeah, I've learned a lot about myself just watching this. I thought about it, and I'll see if that hypothesis plays out over time. So yeah, good experience for me. I'm still going to check out more of Bong Joon Ho's films, because there's a lot of them around on streaming platforms at the moment. Um, and I'll let you know. All right, until next time. Thanks again for listening.